Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode 172 of the Audible Farm podcast, and this episode is brought to you by Couchtown Coffee. Couchtown Coffee is roasted right here in Iowa. It's my favorite coffee. They'll roast coffee any way you want it. They'll ship it to your house, and all you gotta do is grind it up and enjoy the good time. So check out couchtowncoffee.com. Find a coffee you like and make an order. And when you do make an order, let them know Audible Farm sent you, and they'll give you 20% off. Why? Because Couchtown Coffee is that awesome. Thanks, Couchtown. This episode, I'm sitting down with Igor Alexandrovich. I've sat down with him before. Check out his old episode. It is an absolute riot. Crazy stories, and all of them can be backed up through pretty much any sort of proof he's got. I mean, he sent me videos of the stories from the last podcast. So it's really wild to hear some of the things and, just to realize that like a lot of this stuff has actually happened. He's led a crazy life. I mean, originally from Russia, he moved over here, didn't speak much English. You should check out the old episode. Trust me, it's super, super good. So when Igor hit me up to chat again, I said, heck yeah. And we talk about all sorts of things. We talk about him overcoming carpal tunnel. We talk about him playing music with Clint Riedel recently. And, just showing up at shows and sometimes getting pulled up on stage to play along with everyone. So that's really fun. I just got to say I had a great time sitting down with Igor Alexandrovich. So I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as I did. This is episode 172 with Igor Alexandrovich.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
I'm sitting down with Igor again. Igor, you were one of the craziest interviews I did because you told some wild, wild stories. And I think the coolest part about it all was you sent me like videos that actually like backed up the stories. Like I remember the one was you brought a guy out in a coffin and there were a bunch of cats in there. And when you opened it up, I mean, this is like a stage show, like think Alice Cooper, you know?
We did it back in '89, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in Siberia.
Pull this guy out on stage, open up this coffin, and there's a pile of cats in there, and they all ran away. So, and there's a video of that online. It's really wild. So, but, I mean, you were telling some crazy stories. If anybody's never met Igor before or heard of Igor, you have to go listen to the older episode. It is absolutely wild. So I tell everyone like that's one of my favorite episodes because you told some awesome stories. Like I never thought about how different, well, you're from Russia. For people that are listening to this for the first time, Igor's Russian and
born and raised.
Yes, and you were telling me just a second ago that Christmas in Russia is on January 7th. Okay. Is there a reason why it's like the 25th?
Well, it's Orthodox, I guess. Russians are Orthodox, whatever, Christians, whatever.
Okay.
And I don't know, somehow Orthodox, they celebrate on January 7th. I don't know the history of that.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to go home and Google that because I'm like really intrigued.
Yeah, January 7th is a Russian Christmas. And in Russia, actually, like when I used to live in New York, Jersey, back in the day, like 30 years ago, a lot of Russians, they like in Brooklyn, there's a Brighton Beach big area where Russians live. A lot of them don't even buy Christmas trees because they wait until Americans throw them away and get it from the trash, brand new ones.
Oh my gosh.
And put it, because in Russia you don't set up a tree, most people only set it up on 31st.
Okay, so like that actually makes a lot of sense though too, because it's like there's a million
why
trees.
Why spend money on the tree when you can find a perfectly brand new tree? A lot of Americans throw it the next day out.
Yep, yeah,
and
that's
it's a perfectly
true.
good tree, and they take it home and.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, I mean, I totally would do the same thing too. If I was just like, I'm going to use this for the next 2 weeks, and you're done using it, and you're just going to leave it there. Yeah, I'll take it. Like that's so cool. Right. That's so cool. So yeah, I mean, like that's some of the stuff that I like sitting down talking with you and learning about the things that like, yeah, you celebrate Christmas, but it's slightly different,
Right.
So I mean, but the only downside of that is in Russia, you don't have
the big thing, like a difference. Like I went to celebrate New Year's Eve. In America, a lot of people don't even celebrate New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, some go wherever, like go to a bar. People don't even look at the TV at the ball drop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about most of them. In Russia, New Year's is the biggest thing. I mean, it's like at 11, everybody starts drinking and they get together at the table, and they at 11 everybody opens champagne and they say goodbye or farewell to the they call it Old New Year,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then whatever couple toasts, and then at midnight that's the real party starts.
Oh gosh.
You know.
Usually that's when everyone's winding down over here.
Yeah, the real party starts, and normally it goes till like 8, 9 in the morning. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
It goes until Christmas.
yeah, and everything like on the second, third. I mean, everything is closed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the stores, whatever, and people normally like you gotta really make somebody work on New Year's night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they put you to work, I mean, they make sure that they pay you like 3 or 4 times more or whatever. Nobody wants to work on New Year's because it's the biggest holiday of the year.
Oh, that's crazy. That's super cool. You know, that's the kind of stuff I just love talking about. You know, and it's cool that you're here and you're like in the North Central Iowa area. I mean, you spent a lot of time in the Fort Dodge area, and that's like kind of where I met you was in the music scene here. I met you at some jam nights back at Patty's Pub.
Right?
Yeah, and that's also kind of crazy to think that that's been gone for a while now, and there's no more Patty's Pub
Right.
jams. But I do see you over at Bootleggers sometimes.
Yeah, well,
know?
the reason I go there because I just moved here, kitty corner from them. You know, 1
Mm-hmm.
minute walk, so don't have to even drive there. So I go
Yeah.
there,
Pretty nice.
and I'm trying to get to Barnum. Everybody keeps telling me that there's like a Tuesday night jam,
Oh yeah.
but I play pool league on Tuesday night, and normally it's not over. I mean, until like 11 or whatever, and then by the time I get there, the jam would be. But I'm planning to go there sometime.
Sometime.
I might go there tomorrow if there is one because
Should be one.
tomorrow there's no pool league for me.
Nice. So yeah, that Barnum Jam, that's a fun one. There's no more jams that really happen in Fort Dodge itself, are there?
No, not in Fort Dodge, unless there's something happens. Like that time they had a benefit show for that guy that Tracy, I think,
Mhm,
that
yep.
passed away. That time it was a jam.
Mm-hmm.
I went and played over there last year. And talking about Christmas,
Mhm.
this Christmas just passed on a Christmas day at night. I mean, the night before, I ran into Clint,
Yep.
and Clint goes, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, not many plans, you know. I don't have any plans. And he goes, "Hey, you kind of like me, you know. You don't have a family, whatever. You got nothing to do. If you got nothing to do, come on over. I'm playing, and you want to jam?" I go, "Yeah." And I said, "Is it all right if I bring my guitar, my amp?" He said, "Yeah."
That's cool.
So I came over, and he told me in the beginning he was apprehensive about it because he didn't know what to expect. He knows me from the like a shredder perspective that I
Yeah.
play metal and I shred and do this.
Oh, yeah.
And if you know Clint Riedel, you know what kind of music he plays.
Yeah, like folk music.
Yeah, kind
Yep.
of folk. Yeah, a little bit maybe on the countryside,
Yep.
whatever. And he was apprehensive. He said that's what he told me. And first I was gonna like. Even like I didn't know what to. I brought my amp. I got this line 6.
Mm-hmm.
So first I got the clean channel with some whatever delay on it, whatever. I thought it was gonna do some kind of psychedelic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I turned it to distortion, whatever. Started jamming, and damn, Clint started digging it.
Yeah.
And then I even told him, I go, "Dude, I mean, I can switch back to play some softer, whatever." He said, "No, that's cool."
Mm-hmm.
And some of the songs, he said, "Damn, we even sound like Hendrix, whatever." And one of his songs actually that really worked well. I mean, the song he does about Trump, I forgot the name of it.
Oh yeah, While the World Dies.
Yeah, While the World Dies. And I did some sweeps in that song, and he said he liked how it works, and it was great actually. I mean, and the wildest part about it, because mostly he played his songs,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know none of them.
Yep.
And I just play by ear, and on top of that, what makes it more difficult, he plays with a capo every time, and he goes, "Okay, girl, what key is it in?" "Oh," I said, "I don't know, a capo on the 4th fret, and a C shape." I go, "Okay," and then capo on the 7th fret, or whatever. So I had to like go by ear,
Yep.
you know, and but pulled it off. I mean, crowd loved it,
Yeah.
and place was packed. I mean, and yeah, Clint was, yeah, he wasn't even kind enough gave me some tip money, so I was happy. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I do want to say, like, pull that mic up a little bit closer. To
Okay.
Me. But yeah, I mean, I still got you on
Uh-huh.
here, but still, like, I mean, that's I remember the first time I played with Clint. at a show because it was kind of the same deal. He's like, "What are you doing? You want to come play a show with me?" And I was like, "Sure." And then you go show up, and like you said, he's got capo every song. It's in a different spot every song.
Mm-hmm.
The chords are different every song, and then you're just like, what key are we in? And then you gotta like, for me, I have to know what key I'm in. I'm not super good at playing by ear, so I have to like sit down and really think about it. And I'm like, okay, I know what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
But I've played with him enough at the jams where I've kind of figured it out, and
Right.
stuff like that. But it is kind of fun to kind of go up and play with other people because I mean, you've done that before at jam nights, but you've also done that at like Jesse Wilson shows
Right.
over at, bootleggers, and it's like Igor's here, you're coming up and playing a couple songs, and so you play leads or whatever. And I mean, that's I've seen it happen because I'm the guy playing guitar, so I'll gladly hand over the guitar to somebody else that wants to play along, So and that's just
Right.
one of those things. Playing with different people, though. I mean, like you spend a lot of time here playing, practicing by yourself. But do you play with too many bands anymore, or is that
Not
something?
at the moment. Right now, I'm working on my album, writing songs and kind of structuring them together. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm trying to figure out how to record at the house, like my own stuff. Like I know Jesse, I've been to Jesse's house a couple times, and he showed me his studio, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I suck. I'm computer dumb when it comes to them software programs, whatever. I gotta figure out because I got the interface, I got the Zoom, something else, and but I don't know how to plug it in, how to. I tried it one time and like came out like crap.
Oh no.
So I wanna learn how to record, well, at least just to do some sketches. But right now I'm kind of like financially not there yet because I've been off work for a while. 'Cause
Mhm.
my season I work in Vegas,
Yep.
and in the summertime, and I've been off for like last 3 months.
Yeah.
So but when I start working again, then definitely I'm gonna go to a studio, and I already talked to a couple singers here. I talked to Jeremy Ober. I talked to I forget to couple Clint. To Scott Kirkhart,
Mhm.
a couple other guys, because I want to because I'm not a singer. I might sing one song, whatever, but I want to do kind of like what Santana did.
Yeah.
Did an album with different singer on every song, and he plays. That's what I kind of want to do.
Yeah.
Invite one singer to sing this, one singer to do that, one singer to do that. And when I'm ready, I'll just pay for the studio time and go. I'm looking for a drummer. I want to find a drummer that can play double bass.
Yep.
Like preferably like decent double bass, like metal, hard rockish.
I know a guy.
I know a guy who know a guy.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
talking about, I was gonna say, since we started on the New Year's thing, whatever, Christmas, I was kind of like go back a little bit to like 2020 and whatever 2021. Actually, a lot of people hated 2020. I mean, I loved it
Yeah.
because I mean, it was quarantine, and it gave me plenty of time to start playing guitar again because I had a long break from a guitar. I started a long time ago. I played a long time, but I had a long break. Probably 6 years I didn't touch guitar.
Yeah.
So, and when I was like 19, I used to practice like 12 hours a day,
Mhm.
And so 2020 gave me the opportunity to do that again. And I was practicing, like my chops started coming up. And then 2021 came in. And in January of 2021, I got carpal tunnel.
Oh yeah, you were telling me that.
And it was so bad. I mean, I got depressed because, I mean, I couldn't play. First, I couldn't play for months. And then I started playing with the sleeves I was wearing.
Yep, I remember
Yeah.
that. It was like you were a heavy metal guy wearing those heavy metal like sleeves but
Right.
fingerless gloves.
Yeah,
Except it was like a medical.
I couldn't
Risk.
play for longer than like 10 minutes a day. I mean, it was horrible. And I thought, and everybody kept telling me, like, get a surgery, whatever. And I see people who got carpal tunnel, and one of my friends got a surgery, and then his hands are all messed up after that. And another one, and plus medicine here in the States, I mean, they want to do the final. I don't know, like in different countries it's different, like in Russia, whatever, they try to fix it first before they do. In America, okay, first thing, okay, cut it.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. So it's one of those things like, well, we'll try to rehab this and change your lifestyle and diet and everything else. Anything they can do to fix any problem before they're like, let's do surgery.
So that carpal tunnel like discouraged me because when I really had it, like when I had cases of it, I mean, it was so bad. I couldn't open the water tap or bottle cap without pliers.
Oh my
I mean, it
gosh.
was so bad. I mean, and it discouraged me. And then, of course, my job came in. I go on the road for like a couple months a pop. I didn't touch my guitar, whatever. And then I come back. I try to play, and I play a little bit, and then it kicks in again, that carpal tunnel.
Oh.
And I was like, and then I would call this 2021 the year of the rubber band. Because
Okay.
a good friend of mine, Mark Brown, from Alaska. He's a pool player, and every time I go work in Las Vegas, I meet him, and you can look him up online. He's a Native American from Alaska, Mark Brown, and the name of his band is, you can Google him or whatever, find it on YouTube. Mark Brown and the Blues Crew.
Okay.
He's a great blues musician, whatever, and I ran into him this August, I believe, when I was in Vegas. Again, we start talking, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? How's guitar going?" I go, "Well, it's going, but I got carpal tunnel." He said, "I had it before. I had it fixed." I go, "How? Do you have a surgery?" He said, "No." I go, "What did you do?" He said, "I'll show you a simple exercise. 5 minutes a day. I mean, it reverses it and cures it, and it at least stops it, and you can reverse it to the point of where you never had it before."
Oh
And I'm
wow.
like, "Wow, what is it?" He said, "I've had it, and because one time we were gigging all the time." He said, "And I played for like 12 hours a day, gigs, for like a month, and had real bad carpal tunnel." And somebody showed it to him, and he said, the thing is, the doctors in this country, they want $50,000 for the surgery. They don't want to, and nobody knows the secret." And he showed me simple exercise involving a rubber band that you do 5 minutes a day, and within a week, and I was skeptical about it. I thought it was bullshit. I couldn't believe it because it was so bad, and I didn't think that this simple exercise would do it. I started doing it, and even in the beginning, I started, then I stopped it, then I started, then I stopped it, and then I started doing it, and damn, I feel better, and then one day my hands don't get numb, and everything's, and right now it's almost like back to where I never had it before, and I'm so happy. And now I can play the craziest stuff that a lot more crazier than I used to do, like, and the year of the rubber band, just simple rubber band, and actually that exercise you can do without the rubber band. You can just, so that basically saved my guitar career again. I started playing again.
So is this something you still do every day?
Yeah,
You still do the rubber band exercise?
yeah,
Is it pretty much just putting a rubber band around your fingers and?
like this, yes.
Oh wow. So I've seen something like that.
Or you can do just asymmetric, even without the rubber band.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Just tense your fingers real.
Yep. So like the whole gist with like carpal tunnel, because I like went and looked it up once, and it's you like pinch a nerve somewhere in your wrist,
right.
and it messes with your
Uh-huh.
ability to grip using these three fingers mostly.
Right.
And then there's another one that's like cubital tunnel. It's like carpal tunnel, but it's like a nerve on the other side, and
Right.
it dinks with your other two fingers.
If anybody else would tell me that, I would never believe it. I would never try it. But I know the guy. He's a blues guy. He's a great blues player. He plays for years. He's got his big following in Alaska. They like popular big band, Mark Brown and the Blues Crew.
Yeah, I was just for some reason thinking like over a bootlegger, someone's like, "Yeah, just put a rubber band on your hand." I'd just be like, "No."
Yeah,
Like I don't.
Yeah, if somebody like some Joe Schmo off the street tells me that, I mean, I was like,
Get out of town.
right. But Mark, I mean, he told me, and
That's crazy. I mean, that's so wild that it worked, and it was something that I had known, and I'm glad, you told this story about having like carpal tunnel. Cause I mean, like you were putting up videos like almost every day of you just,
and
like,
of course, I mean, I switched to lighter strings. I switched to 8. But then I looked up. I mean, there's a lot of big guys using 8. Yngwie Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai.
Yep.
They all use 8. A guy from ZZ Top uses 7.
Sevens. Yeah. I mean,
So and they got people say if you use lighter strings, you don't have the tone. That's bullshit. I mean, look at Paul Gilbert, look at Steve Vai. I mean, they use 8s. Look at Malmsteen and
yes. I mean,
The tone's in your hands.
Yes, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, there is like an argument to be made about like thicker strings and more tone. I will say like it does sound different, so it depends
The
on
thicker
what.
strings, I would have to agree that if you play like hardcore, like gent or like metal, real
Yeah,
death metal, whatever, then for low bottom, yeah, you need the thicker strings. Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna sound more meatier.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, like I do remember, gosh, who was it online that had a video of them playing sevens, and I can't remember. I don't know. I don't want to say it was somebody and have them mislabeled, but somebody on my Facebook had a video of them playing sevens, and they went to like bend the E string. And they could bend it all the way off the frets, and so you.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having like such a light string that you can bend so far and
Right.
just bend it all the way off the neck.
Well, then you still don't get to the right note.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be hilarious.
Right.
So you do have like finger exercises you still do for your carpal tunnel.
And then, of course, I mean, now I warm up before I play, because
I was gonna ask if you're
Yeah.
doing like exercises
yeah.
on the guitar
If
before you start.
anybody interested, you can look up John Petrucci,
Yep.
from Dream Theater.
Yep.
He's got a video, and he spends probably 10 minutes just talking about how to stretch and warm up before playing, so you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And most guys, of course, I mean, the ones that play regular chords or whatever, but if you play some shred stuff with a real fast, real stretchy, then you need to you need to warm up.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I never really thought too much about, but like when I started playing in a metal band, I started realizing that like the more notes you're playing, it's like, yeah, I better run some scales or something here beforehand.
And I learned a lot of tricks on how to like practice. I mean, how to get the most out of practice time, because when 2020 was like, I got this book, I call it Strictly Guitar, that I write things in it, all my notes and stuff. And actually, eventually I want to I start getting the books, organize notes, and I want to organize it and write a book.
Oh, that'd be
Because I
awesome.
learned how to practice, and before, if I knew that in 2020, I'd be on a way different level right now. Because I learned how to, let's say, what used to take me 5 hours, how to get that in 5 minutes. The same, benefit of practice.
You know, that's true. Because I mean, there is something to that. Because like, you don't always look stuff up to practice, but sometimes you stumble upon things that you like. It's like, man, had I known this before, I wouldn't have wasted all this time looking for it. You know.
And even though, like, I play guitar and I teach guitar, and I used to teach guitar back in the day when I used to play classical, and I take lessons every time I get a chance. And I took lessons from one of the best teachers in the world. What's his name? I forgot. I'll remember it though. I stumbled upon him on Facebook. I forgot his name right now. Can't recall. But I mean, he's one of the best teachers in the world, the guitar teachers. And I took a lesson from him because he was offering like free lessons, half-an-hour lessons, and I did it via Skype, and it was awesome lesson. A lot of big guys took lessons from him. A lot of like Slash, I think, somebody else, like some big names. And then I took lesson from Roy Marchbank, and that guy, I mean, if you don't know who Roy Marchbank is, you look him up. That guy probably the fastest, the cleanest, the most technical guy in the world. A lot of people talk about Sean Lane. Well, he passed away. He was probably the greatest guitar player alive. I mean, and well, he's not alive anymore. But I mean, that guy was like still very. Thousands of people try to play his songs and they never be able to. And Roy Marchbank can play his songs, and he just incredibly clean. And I took a lesson with him.
That's
I
cool.
paid for his lesson. I mean, and I learned a lot. And one lesson from Rick Graham.
That's cool.
And Rick Graham is another one. One of his level is like everybody's here. He's like on a skyscraper on the roof.
That is kind of funny how like a lot of the people we all know is like,
Oh, actually, I learned about a lot of great guitar players that like way above. You know, like everybody knows about Guthrie Gowan. He's like one of the guys that up there. But there's a young kid from my hometown, actually, from Siberia, from Irkutsk, Max Ostra. And that guy, he's right now. I think he just turned 17. He started playing guitar when he was 13.
Yeah.
Self-taught. When he was 14, I saw him playing on Russian TV. He was playing Malston and Gilbert note per note
Oh, geez.
in 1 year. Now he's playing world class, and I think one of the he still lives in Siberia in Russia, in Irkutsk, where I'm from, but he works out of there. I think GNC Guitar something whatever on Facebook. There's a big company. They hired him. He works for them. He does the fusion lessons and whatever. He's like way above anybody on the level, especially like in such short period of time. In 4 years, he achieved more than most guys will learn in 40 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And another, the last one that like blew my mind, this girl, Tori Slasher. She is just, I don't even know how this is possible. It's just pure talent and like, I mean, she plays tapping and all kind of, like if you watch her, Tori Slasher, she just playing like, wow. It's like, holy, I mean.
That's crazy. I mean, and I love finding those people that are like you said. I mean, there's some people like obviously Steve Vai, is he good? Yeah, he's good. You know,
Yeah.
but like there are some people that's just like they're out there on like a weird level of playing the instrument.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's almost just like there's noise coming out of this instrument. I've never heard that kind of noise coming out of one of these instruments before.
Right.
You know.
Or like Matthias Eklund from the Freak Kitchen band. It's called Freak Kitchen.
Freak Kitten.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Matthias Eklund, his name. He's from Sweden. That guy is like, he makes some crazy noises. I mean, and he plays like,
Is he the? Does he play a headless guitar? A guitar with no heads?
I don't know. He's got a whole bunch of.
I was gonna say.
When first time I saw him, he played with a Viguier, but a lot of guys play with Viguier. It's one of the best. It's a French guitar.
Mm-hmm.
The Sean Lane playing Viguier, and so. But lately, I mean, I started practicing and I'm so happy about this carpal tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm almost there where I like everybody knows me. I like to play sweep picking, whatever, but I don't like the sound of sweep picking. I like alternate picking better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can alternate pick sweep picking, but I mean not everything yet to the speed that I do. But I mean I'm almost there, and like with my new practice regimen,
That's crazy.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, like you're doing things on the guitar that I don't know. It would take me forever to figure out like sweep picking, you know. But like I said, I knew a guy that he's just like I'm just gonna practice it every day until I get good at it, and how he can do it, you know. And it didn't take him even a year to figure out how to do it.
Well, regular sweep picking is easy. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just especially if you know what to work on. I mean, but it's. I like the approach that Steve Morse does. You know, the guy he plays with Deep Purple right now.
Mm-hmm.
He does all arpeggios, alternate picking. Or another Russian guy, Anton Aparin. That guy, he's young too, but he was like he's a prodigy. When he was 8 years old, he came to the States and he played with Paul Gilbert.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, when he was 8, he was on that level already. Now
That's
he's
wild.
like 27, 28, and that guy, he alternate picks everything. And the sound of alternate picking arpeggio is way better. Him and Steve Morse, and very few people do it. Well, one reason because it's hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But you get more control when you alternate pick arpeggios, and then when you sweep pick, it's kind of like in comparison. If you go racing, I mean, if you drive a stick or automatic,
Mm-hmm.
so you're more in control of guitar when you alternate pick.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I mean, it's still like
You more control on dynamics, whatever.
okay. Yeah, I could
And
definitely see
sweep picking,
dynamics.
the number one reason, I mean, difference because strings are different thickness,
Mm-hmm.
and when the pick goes down, I mean, you cannot change the force with which pick hits the string. You know, when it goes down, the force stays the same.
Yep.
So the sound's gonna change a little bit, and it's noticeable if you get to dynamics. But when you alternate pick, you can change it every stroke.
That's
You
wild.
You can really like brighten up your dynamics in the song.
Yeah, gosh, that's crazy stuff, man. I mean, like I said, I mean that's stuff I want to learn how to do eventually, or like sit down and practice. But that's also like I don't know where to start. So like I need to figure some of that out.
Just like
But-
that, I was telling you earlier that I started to learn how to hybrid pick before. And first time when I heard one of the songs by Rick Graham, and I didn't know when I heard it, I thought he sweep picks it, and I'm like, okay, so I picked it by ear. It took me forever because it's so fast. I mean, like the tempo is like 125, and he plays like 16th note triplets at 125, and by ear. But then I found thing on YouTube where you can slow it down without changing the pitch.
Yep.
And finally, I figured out what he plays, and still I thought he's sweep picking it. So I tried, and then I said, "Oh, screw it! I want to learn how to alternate." And I started alternate pick his, and then I figured out that he hybrid picks it. So, and finally, like, all right, let me learn how. And I just the other day started.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, like, hats off to you for at least like going out there and doing it, because there's so many people I'm sure that are in my shoes, like, I should learn how to do that, you know. And we never even start doing it, you know. But it takes some real serious gumption to actually like jump in and do it. So. And
the same thing, like this carpal tunnel, like being thing in the past for me, it's like inspired me in so many ways, because I mean, when I didn't want to practice, you know, I started drinking a lot, you know, started whatever, hanging out, and now I completely quit everything, you know, drinking, say no to drugs or whatever, and completely just guitar, you know, my pool, work, and
yes.
So and I'm
so kind of like rejuvenated you back.
Oh yeah,
you know?
because. Yeah, I was bummed out. Just as that's.
I mean, it makes sense. It's the thing that you spent so much time on, and now you can't do it. You know, I mean, like guitar has been the thing that you spent the most time on all the time. It seems like so now when you can't do that anymore, I mean, that'd be nuts. That'd be like you know, somebody taking my car away. I'd just be like, what am I gonna do? Like, I have to just sit here or like walk somewhere. Like this sucks. You know.
Yeah.
I totally get it. So, but. I mean, like, now you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You said earlier you're giving guitar lessons.
Yeah.
I mean, so you told me before the podcast out at Regimen Music in Fort Dodge, right?
Yeah, so far I just got one student right now, but if anybody's interested, especially, like, I mean, if somebody interested in, like, if they want to learn how to sweep pick, I mean, I became a guru on that stuff. Because, I mean, when I didn't know what to do, and I studied just about watched every video on YouTube on the subject, and I was just surprised. I mean, how much garbage out there. I mean, even a lot of guys that don't even know how to sweep pick, they teach how to do it, you know.
Oh, that's true.
And so
I remember that being a thing when I was like first learning how to play guitar. I'd go on, you know, when YouTube existed. So, like, I first started playing guitar before YouTube was, like, a thing, and there was guitar lessons all over it. And then I, like, picked the guitar back up in my 20s and was like, I'm going to learn how to play this again. So then I had to get on YouTube, and some lessons, it's like, this lesson's too complex. I need somebody to dumb it down. And then somebody's like, this is an E string. And I'm like, no, this is too slow.
Yeah, like what's his name? Michelangelo Batio, his video.
Oh, my gosh.
This is a pick. He shows a pic of it. This is a pic.
That's so funny. I remember he had one of those videos back in the day that was called Speed Kills.
Yeah.
And like the beginning of it, he's just like, I'm going to give you the keys to the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And he just shreds and shreds and shreds and shreds. And that's like lesson 1. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, oh my gosh. But that's hilarious though. So you're giving lessons out at Regimen's. I mean, that's awesome. You and I were talking earlier about giving guitar lessons, and I mean, like, I've been giving guitar lessons for a while, and I teach like beginner students up until a level where I have to set them free.
Well, actually, like, if you look at my hand, you see the scars.
Yep.
Used to be when I was back in Russia, when I was like 18 or 19, first time, I was offered the job to teach guitar, because I used to play classical guitar, and I was but when I was younger than that, let's say 15 or 14 years old, I was big time Ozzy fan.
Yeah.
So I had an Ozzy tattooed on my fingers. And but in Russia back then, it was like if you had any tattoos, any visible tattoos on your body, they would think that you're from jail or whatever.
Yeah.
And they told me up front, they said, if you want to get a job, you got to get rid of the tattoo. So I had to go to a place, and they took my ink away from my fingers.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was the reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't get a job.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because I was teaching like little kids, like 7, 8-year-olds, whatever. Like,
yeah, you got to think you're playing guitar. They're going to be able to see your hands.
Yeah, and
so.
if the teacher comes in Russia, everybody, oh, your teacher, what? He's from prison. You know, that's what they back
Yeah.
in the day, like 35, 40 years ago. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's different, just like here. You know,
Yep.
everybody's got tattoos, but
Yep. Yeah, I mean
that was the reason I got rid of this, just in order to give guitar lessons.
that's crazy because now that you said that you had Ozzy on there, it's like, oh, I can definitely see it now.
Yeah.
So
Now you see the scars.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's wild. That's
I was a
wild.
big time Ozzy fan when I was a.
I mean, we had talked a little bit about that, about some music that's over there that's accepted or not accepted, you know, depending on the culture. So that
Well, it was back in the day, yeah, when the communists was. Yeah, it was a blacklist of bands, which bands are allowed.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's wild. So if anybody's want to hear some more on that
Now
topic,
it's
yeah,
just like here, you know. Especially how many Russian bands coming out now, especially metal scene.
hmm
Ginger, well, they're from Ukraine, former Russia, you know. Ginger, they're badass. They tour everywhere. They play with big names bands, and they just played here not long ago.
where at?
Ginger, in Iowa, somewhere in Des Moines, I think.
Oh shit! Wish I would have known that. I would have gone
Then
and checked
another
them out.
band right now is real like heavy like death metal or some Slaughter to Prevail,
Okay.
and there's a lot of Russian metal bands.
Yeah, I mean, Russia and metal seem to go hand in hand. I mean, there's like some of those Scandinavian countries that are all about metal too. So like, I think I'd put Russia.
Metal scene is much bigger in Russia than here right now.
Yeah.
Some bands that come here and they play like 2,000 venues, you know, 3,000 people venue. When they go to Russia, they play like almost like stadiums.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of
yeah.
like Japan. You know, Japan is
Yep.
huge
Oh yeah.
on metal and hard rock.
Yeah, when those guitar shredders go over there, the places are packed. And
Yeah, they come here. It's like they play in front of 500 people.
yeah, I've seen some wild musicians play in venues that were like the size of your apartment if you knocked all the walls out. Like, and it's like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
there's 30 people here. Like, why is there 30 people here for Felix Martin or whatever? You know, like,
Right.
and he's just Felix Martin. I don't know if anybody knows who he is. He plays a double neck guitar, but they're like right next to each other, and it's all tapping the whole thing. So, I mean, that's like his thing. So, if you ever want to go watch that, but I mean, I've seen a lot of like Tony McAlpine. I saw him there as well, and that was another one that was like, there's probably like 40 people at the venue. It's like there's
Crazy.
40
You
people
see
here for Tony McAlpine.
It's like, damn. It's like back in classical times, like damn, Mozart is playing and 40 people showed up.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's
Yeah,
like, that's the
which maybe
comparison.
that's how it was. You know.
Well, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that'd be nuts. You know. I mean, I guess it's like one of those weird like double-edged swords about music because, like you said, I mean, it seems to be like super big in other countries because I mean, like, I think about like Germany was like really big into metal and probably still is. I don't know. I don't have any attachment to the country, so I don't know. But like they just seem to be cranking out like metal bands like crazy, like awesome ones. You know, like the biggest ones would probably be like Scorpions that everyone knows. You know, but like Halloween was from there too.
Right.
Was,
Oh,
you
there
know,
was tons of Tankard and what's the other one?
I mean, Gamma Ray would be another one, but they came out of
Yeah,
Halloween.
Gamma Ray back in the day, but then the German Metallica, shit. Damn, I can't recall the name right now for some reason.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's one of the things I think is also fun talking to you is you grew up with some American music, but you also have like a huge knowledge of like other music from other places that I might not know about or other people around here might not know about.
Well, I'm versatile. I'm open-minded right now, especially the older I get. It's like the more open-minded I get. Because when I remember, like back when I was like in my teens, I was a hardcore metalhead. I didn't want to listen to nothing else but metal.
Yeah.
When I was like in my 20s, I mean, death metal only. If anything else sucks,
Yep.
you know, I wouldn't shit. I mean, now I like a lot of blues lately. I mean, I play a lot of blues.
I've been watching your blues videos. They really intrigue me because I really like playing blues. You know, so
I love blues. I mean, I like trance music. You know, a lot of people call it techno, whatever. But I mean, I like if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Any genre of music has got good music and it's got crap music.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, there's some bands it's like you can't say they're not good. So like Daft Punk would be one. It's just like listen to this and tell me it's not good. This is good techno, you know, or whatever. So, yeah, I totally get it. So you're giving the guitar lessons out there at Reman. I just do want to say that again. So anybody wants to learn how to shred, like Igor. I mean, check out his Facebook page. Got all sorts of stuff on there
Yeah, I
on
got
your
some
profile.
YouTube trying to.
You have to give me some links. I'll put them down in the description
Yeah.
section. We'll share them for
Okay.
everybody. Just send them to me on the Facebook, and we'll get them shared out there to everybody. So, I mean, that's another thing. Like, if you want to, you got to check these videos out because I mean, it seems like you post one a day at least.
Well, I mean, now my guitar, the wire broke on it, so.
We're gonna fix that.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna
Appreciate it.
we're gonna fix that. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a thing. So, I'm stoked for that too. To get you back up and running and stuff like that. Did it break after your show with Clint?
After, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say if it broke before, what would you have done?
Yeah, I would be screwed. I mean,
I'm playing acoustic electric.
Yeah, I would get some.
Put a mic right
I
up
would
next
play
to
his
the strings.
second guitar.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
He bring it two guitars.
Yeah. I guess I never thought of that.
And
so
it's
yeah.
crazy because it was already giving me problems because that contact, sometimes I had to tap it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was bad connection. Well, it was, but obviously it was bigger problem that the wire just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that's something. We'll peek at that here in just a little bit. We do have a little bit of time left, and God, I feel like there was a topic I wanted to talk about with you.
Okay.
I'll see if I can remember what it was, and if not, I just want to run back down through everything because you played that show with Clint. Oh yeah, I was gonna like try and touch back on that because I was asking if you'd were playing with any bands or anything like that. But was it weird to play with somebody when they're controlling the tempo of music as opposed to I see you practice it at home a lot with a metronome. So with Clint.
Actually, lately, I mean, I do practice with the metronome a lot, but a lot of stuff that I do doesn't involve metronome.
Okay.
Because especially when you're working on speed, like if you want to play real fast, really, I'm talking about really fast. The Roy Marshbank, he's the fastest guy in the world probably, and another guy I talked to, James Moody, he's a shredder from I think right now he lives in Virginia. That guy probably the fastest and cleanest in the world. He can play 16th notes at 400 plus clean.
Jeez.
He makes Malmsteen sound like Clapton in comparison.
That's hilarious.
In comparison, and both of them told me, throw your metronome away if you want to learn how to play fast. Both of them. And well, I mean, of course, it's an exaggeration. I mean, you do need metronome, but I mean, to a certain degree, most of the practice stuff, I mean, you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be for years. I mean, that's the biggest lie people tell you. I mean, if you want to learn how to play guitar, start slow, gradually, and gradually speed up. And it's working to a certain degree. But if you want to, I mean, look at the runners. I mean, if you want to sprint or whatever, you don't run and then kick in a little bit, kick in.
Yeah.
If you want to run like that guy Ersin, whatever.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just read about it. He runs almost 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He's fastest.
Yep.
If you want to learn to run like that, you don't run 5 miles an hour, then speed up to 6 miles.
That's true.
You learn how to if you practice slow with a metronome, you learn how to play real good slow.
Yep.
At 100, 120 beats per minute, whatever, but you won't be able to play fast.
That is true. I mean, there has to be a point where, like you said, you can get. I mean, it totally makes sense. If you want to get fast, you have to be fast, or at least try to be fast.
Because
you can't
I did
just
study. I mean, I did everything. I mean, when I was learning with that, 2020 was the best year for that part for me. I mean, I looked up. I mean, I was looking up videos how violin classical players practice.
Mm-hmm.
Got advice from there how pianists and someone play crazy fast, and some classical music is crazy technical.
Oh yeah.
And I was just looking up how those people practice.
That's true.
And
I mean, I've seen some wild sheet music in my day. It's
Yeah.
Man, I mean, that's another smart thing to think about because it's
And it's crazy, actually, I was telling, my city where I'm from, Irkutsk, so many people came out. That's that guy Max Ostra, he's and right now I just ran into, I saw a video online, and the name sounded familiar to me. It was Denis Matsuev, and I'm like, and he's a classical performer, and so one of the best in the world, like playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, for some reason, how do I know this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Familiar. And then he's from Irkutsk, and he's a couple years younger than me. I remember when I used to start. One time we were playing, and my string broke, and I remember he so I gave him the guitar. He tuned my guitar for me and gave it to me back in the day. And now that guy, he plays like, he got millions of dollars, and he plays big, like classical.
Oh yeah, those big like concert halls and stuff.
That guy came out from my hometown Irkutsk. I mean, there's and another guy, Vasily Akimov. There's a Russian band from Russia. It's called Leonid and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
They just did a tour all over the states. They did it before COVID, and they just did it again. They do classical covers, but they do like Chicago covers, and all of them guys. They're
yeah, you told me about them and showed me, sent me some of them once.
Badass. And,
yes.
And
yes.
Vasily, the singer in that band, I went to jazz college with him.
Oh, crazy.
So, I mean, I don't know. From my hometown, there's a lot of people that are very musically inclined, like, came out.
So is this something like from a young age you just always knew you wanted to do? Then was play guitar, or like how did you first?
No, actually, first I got into music. I was like 8 or 7 years old, and my next door neighbor, my buddy, his parents bought him an accordion, and I came over and he impressed me by just played a scale, like C major scale or something, I'm like, damn, that's cool, and I stopped bugging my parents, couldn't buy me an accordion, So finally,
so cool.
They got me an accordion. Well, actually, not accordion. It's a bayan, which is instead of keys, it's got buttons.
Okay.
But in Russia, I just call it accordion because people takes less to. But anyways, so I started practicing because I was so inspired. I love music. I wanted to learn, and I started going to take lessons. And the teacher that I had was a complete ass. I mean, he was like, he would give me like something to practice, and I go to a lesson, and he said, "Okay, play me the exercise." And I start playing, and when I mess up, he would get a ruler and hit me on my fingers.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like 7, 8 years old, whatever. So I started hating the lessons, whatever. And then I would go get my accordion, go to lesson, stop by, drop it off at my buddy's house, and we'd go play soccer, whatever, instead. And I come back, So, and then that's it. And I quit accordion. And that guy completely beat the love for music out of me for a few years. Then when I was 13, then guitar came out. Like it was popular. Everybody in the streets, like guys can get out, in the alleyway, sitting, singing on the
that's
guitars.
cool.
And I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And one time my sister came in. She's 4 years older than me, and she was dating this guy. One night, he brought a guitar, and she decided to learn how to play. And they spent like 1 hour or whatever. And then they went to a movie, and she tells me, "Don't touch the guitar." Well, of course, she left, and first thing I did, I went for the guitar, and I saw a piece of paper, and it was 3 chords on it. D, A minor, and E major, 3 chords. And I never played guitar in my life. I just saw the chords on the paper, and I decided to try, and I started putting them on and like strum, whatever. And I got lost in time, couple hours, and she walks in from the movie. She goes, "Igor, I didn't know you know how to play guitar." I'm like, "I don't. I mean, I was just," and that's how I started learning.
That's crazy.
Those chords. And then was one guy on the block. He was the best because all the girls were around him. He knew all the songs, all the chords. He probably knew like 10 chords. So he was and I only knew 3.
Yep.
So I came up to him and I go, "Well, can you teach me?" He said, "Yeah, come on over sometime." So I came over to his house, and he told me, he said, "I'm not going to teach you. You're tone deaf." And he pissed me off, so I go, "I'm tone deaf? All right." And I maybe practiced so hard, and then that guy got drafted to the military.
Oh, no.
And when he got back, I already had my band, and my band was popular in my town, whatever. And he found me. He came to me, asked me to give him lessons. I go, no, I can't give you lessons. I'm tone deaf.
That's funny. Throw it back in his face. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
But I mean, probably if he didn't tell me that, I probably wouldn't practice as hard.
But yeah, I mean, you play by ear, so
'Cause
like
I was so
you're the
pissed off when
opposite
he
of
told me
you're the
that.
opposite of tone deaf.
Right?
Yeah. Because I'm somebody like I have to see shapes and stuff and like do math in my head, and then I'm like, all right, I know what we're doing. But
Right.
I'm blown away by you guys that can play by ear. That's super cool. So, I mean, you haven't been short of fun stories this podcast, same as last one. So, I do want to say thanks. Is there anything else you do want to cover in this episode before we cash it out? Because I mean, we did cover your show with Clint, which was, you know,
That
fun-
was fun. And
fun.
It was a way better turnout than what I was expecting.
Yeah,
and
'cause-
Clint said the same thing.
Yeah, because we played there Christmas Eve, and I've never played a Christmas Eve show.
It
I was
was-
thinking like Christmas Eve. Who goes out on Christmas Eve? That place was packed Christmas Eve.
Well, the next day was way more people than
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
and the place was packed. I mean,
I mean, it's
people loved it. I mean,
Probably the only place open on Christmas.
yeah,
So.
and people loved it. I mean, I could tell by the. I mean, I've played many gigs over my lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
and you could tell it was. Oh, what I was gonna say that recently, well, you know John Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing with a band now called People Like Us.
Yep.
Yeah, they played a couple gigs here in Fort Dodge because I haven't seen him in a while. And then I had a message from him. He sent me a message. He said, "Hey, I'm playing tonight at Bootleggers." So I'm like, "Oh, let me check it out."
Mm-hmm.
So I came over. He was there, and
Yeah, they're good.
then, well, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And what I like that I heard a lot about them Harley Benton guitars.
Yep.
They're dirt cheap.
Yep.
You can get a real deal guitar for cheap.
And they're built very good.
He got himself one of them,
Yep.
and their guitar is badass. I mean, he let me try it. I mean,
Yeah,
you can buy $2,000 guitar for like $300.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
what it is. Like in comparison to
the crazy part was like for a while they were making them, and then they were like, these are too cheap, and then they had to up their prices, and they're still cheap.
yes, they're still cheap for like $300. If you pay $300 for Harley Benton, it would be like in comparison like $2,000 if you spend on a regular guitar.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they like probably even better sounding.
yeah, I mean, like based on the way they look and everything, that's like having like a super badass Epiphone guitar, as far as I'm
Plus, some guitars. There was a video I was just watching. The guy from Dragon Force, Herman Lee.
Mhm.
He was comparing. He just got a regular cheap ass whatever Squire or something, well, regular without any extra hardware, just the way it comes.
Mhm.
And he was comparison to like PRS, like that like $10,000 PRS that he had. And actually, that Squire sounded better than the PRS
Yeah,
for like 100 times cheaper.
yeah.
I mean, 10 times. No, I don't know.
Dude, I mean, some of that is like based on like the setup or who's playing it too. Because I remember.
Well, of course, yeah, but I mean that you could tell that guitar was good. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are those guitars though. I mean, I do know people that swear by it because like, I've got one guitar that I've got two versions. I've got two of. It's pretty much just two different colors of the exact same guitar, but they don't sound the same. And it's like these are supposed to be exactly the same, but there's one that I think sounds better. And I've had
Right.
other people play them both, and they're like, "That one sounds better." I'm like, "Yeah, it does." I don't know why. Everything should be the same pickups, all of it. But you know, that's I mean, like those Harley Benton guitars. Those are fun guitars, though. I remember like
well, the only one I tried, the one that John got. He
Yeah.
let me try it unplugged. I played a couple, but I mean, it felt real good.
yeah.
And it sounded good when he played it. So
Which one does he? Does he have a Les Paul one?
Les Paul, it looks like almost like a Les Paul. A
Yeah.
little bit different than Les Paul.
Yeah, it's if I remember correctly, it might be a 24 fret guitar.
I think it's 24. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean, there's very few models of 24 fret actual like Epiphone or Gibson Les Pauls. So I don't know if Gibson even made one. I know Epiphone made a few. So, but that's another like crazy thing about that was if I recalled correctly, like that was a 24 fret, which was like that's neat. So, because I was like a big fan of Les Pauls growing
Right.
up, you know. So, oh yeah, I mean that's like really cool because I know they've played here in Fort Dodge a few times, and I've seen.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it got two female singers and.
Yep.
The bass player, like I was surprised because the bass player, I talked to him and John told me, and the guy picked up a bass a year ago,
Yeah.
and he plays real good for 1 year.
Yeah,
playing bass.
they played like an hour-long set up in Humboldt
For somebody just playing bass for just 1 year, he plays real good. The guy like
Yep. Yeah, they played like a show up in Humboldt,
Yeah.
and he had started playing like a month before the show or something.
when I played with the Clint, it was kind of in the beginning. I thought like, damn, of course I haven't played live in a while, and I wanted to show off whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm
Yep.
like, no, I actually I did something like, and he said, whoa, wow, that's cool. It sounds like Hendrix, whatever. And I just started playing a lot of like a bluesy stuff, like
Yep.
long vibrato notes, like big bands and stuff, and then that
Mhm.
worked well with him.
Yep.
And
Yeah, just adding extra notes, and then he'll give you a spot to solo.
and of course,
in.
it was so challenging because I got no idea. I mean, what next chord's gonna be, what key is it in, whatever. One song, I mean, normally I was like catching it right away, but one song he played, I forgot what his song was, but one song it took me probably like 10 bars before I figured out like what key it was.
Yep.
I mean, it was so like damn, but I mean,
Yeah, it is a little goofy trying to figure that out sometimes. Like sometimes when we're playing like those 4-hour shows, we'll be playing a song, and I'll be like, wait, I know all the chords for this, but for some reason my brain's blanking on what key it's in. And then it's just like comes time to do the solo, and it's like, and then I just start like plunking notes out until I'm like, oh, there's the key. All these notes sound good. There it
Right.
is. But it is pretty fun when you're trying to like go out there on the fly. I find that challenge like enjoyable though.
right.
It's
Well,
not.
it kind of reminded me of my first time ever playing a gig. Like first time ever when I was only playing guitar for 1 year, and I was hanging out at this bus stop back in Siberia, and the bus pulls up and stopped, and the doors open up, and this big name bass player guy in my city, he saw me, and he knew me because he's a friend with my guitar teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, Igor, what are you doing right now? I go, nothing. He said, you want to play a gig? Get paid for it too? I'm like, yeah. So jump in. So I jumped on the bus. We go there. I go, what happened? He said, well, our guitar player had wedding last night, whatever, got too drunk and couldn't make it today, so we don't have a guitar player. I know you learning guitar. So said, I'll go, all right, let me play. So he said, stand next to me. I mean, I will tell you, I mean, what key is it, whatever, just look at me. And I started playing, and then he would tell me, okay, play solo. And first time ever I played in front of people. It was awesome experience.
That's wild. That's a crazy story. Because I mean, like my first time in front of people, I practiced and practiced and practiced, and it still wasn't the greatest.
And I
thing
was
ever.
14 years old. I mean, I was so happy because I was playing
that's
with a real
wild.
band. Got paid for it, and like
That's-
everybody looking at me like, damn, it was badass.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, I unfortunately like got to play in front of a whole bunch of my like high school classmates. So like
Right.
not everybody likes the fact that you're out there trying to play guitar. Some people are just like, this is dumb, So it kind of sucked. But yeah, I don't know. We also weren't the greatest either. So that has to be something to say for it. But that's wild. Like that kind of reminds me of like Owen O'Brien. Our
Right.
bassist. Like he was like 16 when he was getting gigs,
Well, I was
And
gonna-
people were just like, "You want to play a show tonight?"
Actually, when I was in Vegas, I was gonna hook up with Owen O'Brien, like for my album, to work on some songs. And I talked to him, and he said, yeah, he was kind of interested, whatever. But then I sent him a message. He never answered me. I don't know. And then I see he's always gigging with somebody, so I figured he might be too busy.
He's busy because
So I'm thinking maybe I got the number, and I might talk to him. Nick, the guy that he's got Earnhardt, or
yeah,
like,
Riddle with class guy.
yeah,
Yep.
works at the car dealership.
Yep.
Yeah, I talked to him one time. He was at the Bootleggers, and I might hook up with him because I talked to him, and he said he'd be interested, to work on some of my songs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. I'd like to hear what that sounds like when it finally comes out because I'm excited about that too. Because you do have some material online that you've sent me, like a couple songs that you've played here and there.
Some here and there, but the ones that I got enough material probably to come up with the whole album. But right now, probably I will do what they used to call EP. Probably 3 songs, whatever.
Yep.
Actually, what does EP stand for?
Extended play.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I
there's
forgot. I was thinking the other day, trying to remember what it was standing for.
Yeah.
LP, long play,
long
extended.
play.
Yeah, okay.
because otherwise, and then it's a single. You guess I
Yeah.
got single
So
extended.
probably first, if I do, I'll probably either do like one single, then do 3 songs, and then do. But I got enough material to probably do a couple couple albums.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Oh man, I'm stoked for that. So hopefully, when that comes out, you come back on the
And
podcast
it's gonna
and we
be
can talk about
like
it.
some of it pretty challenging technically, because some of the stuff, like let's say a year ago, I wouldn't be able to play. Now I fly through it like it's nothing.
That's crazy. That's wild. Well, man, thanks for joining me on the podcast.
You're welcome.
And,
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's good to talk
Happy
to
New
you.
Year, and I wish Happy New Year, and I
Yep.
wish everybody all the best in this new year.
Heck yeah, man. Absolutely.
2022.
It's gonna be
Stay
good.
true to your dreams.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. It's
Right.
I feel just like you. I feel like 2020. Even though it did suck, I got a lot of my.
COVID sucks. I mean, whoever come up with that dumb shit, I mean, it sucks.
Yeah, but it was nice though if you had the time in quarantine, if you actually did something
Right.
with it.
At least also I'm happy that we live in Iowa here. I would never say that, like I would never believe that I would say that I kind of like that I'm living in
Yeah.
Iowa now, because I moved here from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Because anywhere else, I mean, we worked in Vegas, masks, gotta wear masks and this, and
Yep.
in Iowa we barely didn't have to wear masks.
Yeah, I mean we did for a little bit, but that was
For a little bit,
that
but
was it.
nothing like over there. It's like mask Nazis.
Yep.
The cop on the street will stop you. And when I was drinking coffee, when I went there in January
Mhm.
last year, the cop in the street, I was drinking coffee. He go, put your mask up. I go, I'm drinking coffee. He said, well, you're not actively drinking it now. You take a sip, then you put it
oh
up.
my gosh, that'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be
Otherwise,
so
I mean,
nuts.
I'll give you a fine or something. I'm like,
Oh my
damn.
gosh. Well, hopefully 2022 turns out better than 2020
Right.
and 2021 did. So, dude, once again, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Oh yeah, Igor's is such a great guy. I love seeing him at shows, and I love having him, hop up on stage and play a little at shows. He's done it before at Jesse Wilson's shows, and sometimes he gets up on stage with other musicians. I've checked out some of his solo stuff. It is absolutely wild. I am stoked to hear what his new stuff sounds like. There is a link down below. I do have his YouTube channel linked down below, so check out his link for his YouTube channel. Give him a Facebook friend request. He's got all sorts of videos on Facebook. I mean, I'm talking like multiple videos daily, it seems like sometimes. And, when he's around and he's not working his job, he's got a lot of videos and he's playing a lot of guitar. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I also hope you guys enjoyed the little advice he had with the possible cure for carpal tunnel. I'm definitely going to check that out the next time I have a bout of carpal tunnel. I do know I've had issues with it here and there. I usually have more issues with cubital tunnel than anything, just based on sitting at computers quite a bit. So I'm definitely going to check that out next time I'm feeling my hands are a little bit weak. So hats off to him for divulging that nice secret for us all. I hope you guys, if there's anybody out there that suffers from it and you end up trying this out, let me know if it worked or not. Let Igor know if it worked or not. I'm going to go out and buy a pack of rubber bands right now. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm stoked to hear about that. I'm glad his hands are doing better. Because for a while, I mean, if you look at some of his older videos, he was playing guitar in like hand braces because he couldn't function very well without them. So hats off to him, It just seems like he's getting better and better, which is one of those wild things. It's like, how can you shred any faster? It's like, well, he found a way. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Once again, check out his YouTube channel down below. I'm going to say thanks once again to Igor for sitting down talking with me. Had a great time sitting down talking with you, bud. We got his guitar rewired a little bit. I mean, it was just a soldering issue on the inside. Just bing, bang, boom, soldered up, done. And it's awesome to know that I have the ability to do that kind of stuff too for some of my friends. I recently fixed a guitar for another person, and it was just, it's not always difficult stuff. Sometimes it's just they need a new input jack, and it's like, well, we'll get that done. And the funnest part about that one was it was an input jack I was not used to seeing with multiple connectors, etc., etc. But we made it work because, there's only so many places the wires can go. So, a little guessing, a little testing, a little looking online, and boom, you got it. I mean, it's easy as pie. And, well, I shouldn't say it's easy as pie, but I definitely have to say, like, learning how to solder and things like that helped out immensely in my confidence as far as knowing what to do with a guitar. Because, I mean, when I was younger growing up, it was just like, I don't know what's happening. Take it to a shop and then pay them money, and then you never know what they're doing, especially when ignorance is bliss, I guess. But when you're younger, you're just kind of like, I don't know what kind of wizardry is going on inside of the cavity of this guitar. But sorry, I got a little sidetracked there talking about soldering. Check it out if you guys want to learn how to solder. I've taught a few of my friends how to do it. A few of my friends have wanted their items fixed, and I said, hey, I'll fix it for free. If you come over and run the soldering gun, I'll just point at stuff. And they've done it, which is really awesome. So, yeah, hats off to everybody out there that's doing the DIY thing too. Once again, check out Igor's link down below. I'm going to say that. There's also Audible Farm links down below, audiblefarm.com. You can find all the links to everything Audible Farm. There's also the Patreon channel, link down below. The Patreon has video versions of the podcast, full videos of the podcast. So you can watch full video versions of the podcast on Patreon. It costs $1 a month, $12 a year. That's all it costs. When you sign up, it's going to say, we recommend you give them $5, but if you just want to give $1, that's fine with me. That's all it costs. That's $12 for 50 episodes. But there are, I think, 70. This will be the 73rd episode on there. So there's a lot of episodes on there with video versions on there. I will say that this episode does not have the full video version. I don't know what happened to my phone partway through the recording. It just kind of crapped out. So audio, it's all intact. Video, maybe not so much. But check out that Patreon channel. I've been trying to figure out something new to do with it that's just like a Patreon exclusive for all the people that are on there. I think I have an idea. And I've been saying that for months, but I think I have an idea. And it's going to be just some nice, simple questions with some people, but I'm going to ask everyone the same questions and see how everyone answers them differently. So if you guys have any questions that you think it would be a good question to ask all musicians or all people in the entertainment business, or all your friends. If you had one question you could just go ask all your friends, what would it be? I mean, it could be anything. Does pineapple go on pizza? I mean, obviously the correct answer is no, but anybody can say anything they want. So, oh, just kidding around. But seriously, I do have some ideas for some things. Hopefully, I can get some free time to get a backlog of some things going. I don't know if I'll put those out on a scheduled basis. I might just put them out every now and then for fun. So, yeah, check out that Patreon channel. Otherwise, Audible Farm Shop has all sorts of Audible Farm goodies. Shop.audiblefarm.com. I'm selling out of a lot of sizes of shirts, and I'm happy about it. I'm glad. The shirts are fun because I'll go through some weeks and I'll sell a lot, then I'll go through some weeks and I'll sell almost zero, and then I'll go through a few weeks and I'll sell a bunch again. So thank you guys for buying the shirts, wearing them. I see you guys wearing them in pictures, playing shows in them. That is the coolest thing ever. So thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it. I am going to take off for the week. So I will check you guys all next week with another episode. One more time, I'm going to give a shout out to Igor. Great episode, Igor. Good to talk to you. Always good to talk to you. So we will see you guys next week with a new episode, with a new guest. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. Peace.